Over the course of the recent 50 years, the structure and functions of two-dimensional animation have changed. Although the visuals and presentation recently have pretty much stayed the same, things become more apparent when you look into the details. By textbook definition, animation is the technique of photographing successive drawings or positions of puppets or models to create an illusion of movement when the movie is shown as a sequence. This video itself can be considered an animation. Is it good animation by any means? No, but it can still be considered as animation. A more unofficial way of defining animation is that animation is supposed to be an imitation of life. So, how has the imitation of life changed over time? Let's start with the first thing to be considered animation, which dates all the way back to Egyptian times. This photo gives a good example of animation, although very minimalistic and not complex. If the images were to be stacked on top of each other and played in a sequence, it would give the illusion of life. So how would people achieve this? Well, let's skip forward hundreds of years. Around 100 years ago, give or take, is when animation's evolution picked up once again. Let's talk about the traditional flipbook. The flipbook is vastly different from the Egyptians' example of animation. Like I had said in the Egyptian example, if the images were to be stacked on top of each other and played in a sequence, it would give the illusion of life. This is exactly what the flipbook accomplishes. It stacks the images on top of each other effectively by binding paper together, while also giving an amazing method for playing animations in a sequence. While Egyptian animation may have been engraved or carved, the flipbook is most likely done with pen or pencil. Animation like this is more traditional, as it isn't done with a computer. Let's fast forward another 30 years, around the time Disney was starting to develop. Unlike the flipbook before, the paper wasn't binded. Drawings were still drawn traditionally with a pen or pencil, and the wonders of sound were introduced to the medium. Animation was starting to thrive at this point, and was about to begin its golden age. So you may be asking, but Andrew, how was animation played in a sequence at this period? Unlike the flipbook, the animator's drawings were photographed in sequences, one at a time. The film is then developed and then returned to the animator, who then checks it to see how everything is looking. The process from just this to the screen is way more complicated. Departments of people ink the pencil drawings, departments for coloring, and way more. All of this is painstakingly hard work, which makes you appreciate traditional animation for each of its frames. At this time, animators were also developing the principles of animation that helped make imitating life way easier. These principles were published by one of the big names in the animation industry, Richard Williams, in his book, The Animator's Survival Guide. Anyone nowadays who would be looking to get into the animation industry would read this book. Like all things, animation started to become more digitized and modern as time went on. Things began to be animated through programs, which helped speed up the animation process. Layers, backgrounds, and all of those things would take tremendously less time than the rest of the eras of animation. This video was also done digitally and would have taken way longer if it was done traditionally. Digital animation also allows you to easily move, distort, warp, and edit drawings. This helps make the times that you have to redraw drawings go down tremendously. Digital animation also allows you to play your animation with sound in real time to make sure everything is sounding good. Unlike all previous forms of animation, digital media, uses digital resources, such as the drawing tablet. In conclusion, animation has changed a lot over the years, sometimes in presentation and a lot technically. Hopefully the practice of 2D animation can evolve as time goes on. I'm recording this after I presented, so this wasn't in the original presentation. Please don't assume that this is how often I'm going to upload now, because I considered this as homework, which is why I worked so hard on it. This kind of gives a taste of how my animations can improve in my next full-colored thing video. You can also tell that it was low effort because I used the same pose with different faces and like 3 hand models, and most of it was pictures that were required for the class. I recommend you go check out my old video, which I actually worked way longer on than this. Also, I'm going to be commenting what grade I get in a week and pinning it, so if you're wondering what grade I got, which I don't know why you would be wondering, I'll put that down there. So, yeah, thanks for watching, I guess. Yeah.